Hello everyone! I hope that you're doing amazing wherever you are. My name is Shikha and I welcome you to my channel. As always, I'm so grateful that you're listening, subscribing and commenting. I really appreciate the support. I wanted to share with you my thoughts on a quote that I read recently. And the quote, I'm going to paraphrase. I'm going to put the actual quote down in the description, but I'm going to paraphrase the quote as I see it. And it's by Shizuki. I'm saying that wrong, but I'm sorry, but that's how I pronounce it. Wrongly. And the quote says something like, "We're all perfect, but we all need a little bit of improvement." Yeah. So we're all perfect because if you want to look at it in terms of religion, we're all the children of God, or children of the essence that produced us, a divine creator. So we're all perfect, of course, but also we could all use a little bit of improvement. And I just love how he says that, and it made me so happy to hear that, because it's how I look at the world and how I look at myself as well, how I look at everyone really around me. And I'm always kind of trying to, as much as possible, tell myself, okay, everyone's doing the best they can. Everyone's doing the best they can, especially when someone's irking me or annoying me and they're doing something. I'm like, oh my goodness, I'm getting angry. And then always I try to remind myself in my head, okay, all right, boom. They're just doing the best they can with their circumstances, with their knowledge, with their level of growth. So, cut them a little bit of slack, right? I always tell myself that. Now, I'm not really good at it, obviously, every single time, but I'm really trying to get into that mindset, into that mode of thinking. But I also really like the idea that we are all already perfect. We are all already divine creatures. We're all already made in the image of God, if you want to look at how Christianity says that, or the Bible says that, sorry. And so we're all made in the image of God, who is perfect. And so by logical assumption, we're also perfect. But also we are imperfect because we're like a photocopy of the photocopy of the photocopy. And the photocopy is like the original, obviously, but not perfectly like the original. And so we're sitting there thinking, okay, I'm in the image of God, I'm perfect, but also, I am also, made in the image of God. So I am a photocopy. And so I have a few things that I do definitely need to work on. And so I'm working on it, right? And that's what I feel like is life all about, right? There's many definitions of what life is all about. Life is like a dance, or life is like a battlefield, or life is like an opera, or whatever you want to call it. But I always think of life as a self-improvement game. I always think of it as a self-improvement game. That's how I always look at it. Whenever I'm kind of walking through the world, I'm like, oh, I'm in a game and I'm improving myself, And obviously the improvement happens because I look at myself yesterday and I see how I was, and I try to improve by 0.0000001% today, right? And so yesterday I looked at myself and I'm like, yeah, obviously I was very imperfect yesterday, or as imperfect as I am. And then if I could just improve a little bit, just tiny little smidgen, little teensy little bit today, perfect. That's exactly how I want to do it. Yeah. And so that's what we kind of look at when I look at the world. I always look at it, okay, everyone is at a certain level, and through life, through spiritual lessons, through lessons in general, through encounters, through family, through relationships, whatever your game has included in it, your video game, whatever it has, it's kind of trying to get you to improve a little bit, a little step by little step, like one little bit at a time. You kind of improving yourself, right? And so basically it's like a game of you versus you, me versus me, right? I look at myself yesterday and I try to improve myself a little bit today. So if I'm able to do it, yay, I win. If I don't do it, well, let's try again tomorrow, right? And so you keep on doing this until one day that you're gone, and then you kind of go up there or wherever it is and you're like, well, did you improve yourself? Yes, I did. Okay, good. You won the game. And I think that's really, I really like looking at the world like that and my life like that, because it not only makes the bar much lower, because all you have to do is keep on improving, and that's all life is all about. But also it makes it much more exciting, at least for me, who I'm a self-improvement junkie, as you might have noticed. I'm always looking at, okay, what can I improve? This, that, and so for me as a self-improvement junkie, it's like, yay, awesome, this is a self-improvement game. I can keep on improving myself little by little. Maybe some days it works, maybe some days it doesn't, but as long as I'm trying, it's okay. Yeah? As long as you're trying, it's okay. As long as you keep on trying to improve yourself, to get better each day, it's okay. Some days it might work, some days it might not. Some days it might be terrible. Some days you might actually even take a few steps back and you're like, whoa, okay, that was not good. But that's okay, because you're perfect already, because you're made in the image of God, but you just need a little bit of improvement. And so let's just keep on working on that improvement. Let's just keep on working on that tiny little, teensy little bit of improvement that you need to keep on going for. Now, this also makes it very grand for me, because it means that I'm not competing with anyone else. And the whole idea, from a very young age, I absolutely hated, detested, despised the idea of competition. I don't like competition. I do not want to compete against anyone. I do not want to compete against anyone. I don't want to compete against anyone outside of myself. It really is one of the most, I just don't like it. I'm not interested. I'm not interested in that game that people play, right? So that's why a lot of times when I'm in a board game and someone else wins, I'm like, awesome, great, you won, good. I don't feel that urge to be like, oh my God, I'm going to throw the board game over, and oh my God, I didn't win, and how dare they win. It's a game. Someone wins, someone loses. It doesn't really matter. As long as you learn from the game and you improved yourself a bit, or whatever your goal was, it's fine, right? And so the whole idea of competition in this idea of a self-improvement game is completely negated. It's moot. It doesn't matter, because you don't compete against anyone outside of yourself. You're not competing with anyone outside of yourself. You're competing with yourself, with your older self, with who you were yesterday. Who were you yesterday? And did you improve today? Good, great, not? Okay, let's try again. That's it. And it just kind of removes all of this drama and all of this stuff where we're kind of fighting against each other and backbiting and gossiping and putting each other down and disharmonious kind of behavior where you're just like, there's just no, I really don't like it. I don't like a whole capitalistic system. I mean, in general, human beings are based on the system of like, let's compete with each other. Oh, I'm better than her. My hair is better than her. Okay, great, good. I'm better than her then. Oh, my skin is not as good as her. Oh my God, I'm poor. I'm not as good as her. Oh, that sucks. Oh, I hate her. All of this thing about jealousy and putting people down, and a lot of the reality TV shows are like that too, like backbiting and gossiping and I hate you and you're and calling each other names and all this stuff. All about competition. Let's see who can push everyone else down and come out on top. And I really, really cannot stand those reality TV shows like the Big Brother or something. I think that's what it's called, where you're like, everyone kind of like hits on each other or like hits down, puts everyone down, and then comes out on top, and that's the person who wins. Those kind of things really, they're like toxic material to me. I can't even look at them. As soon as I start seeing that kind of energy coming at me, I'm like, all right, calm down. I am not competing with you. I'm not competing with anyone. I don't want to compete with anyone. I just want to compete with myself. And if I can just say, I'm better than the person I was yesterday, awesome, that's great. Let me just keep on going. And if I can say that I'm better than the person I was 10 years ago, perfect, great, awesome, keep on going, And so I just wanted to kind of delineate this, because this is a major part, a major asset, a major part of my philosophy, the way I look at life. Right? And so a lot of people are like, oh, you're an INFJ YouTuber, but did you know those other INFJ YouTubers, they have more subscribers than you, and you should do this and that. And I'm like, all right, back off a second. I'm not doing this because I'm competing with them. Every one of us, every one of the YouTubers, every one of the INFJ YouTubers, and everyone on this planet is doing their thing, their best thing that they can, and we're providing and producing and we're contributing to the world in the best way we can, and that's all. Everyone has to compete. Everyone has to participate, not compete. Everyone has to participate and contribute. Because if I was the only one, then it would be such a boring world, right? If there was only one of us, or 10 of us, or 15 of us, and we were all the same, how boring would that be? right? So we need all of these different diverse opinions and diverse YouTubers, and maybe some of them are doing better than me, some of them are not. It doesn't matter, because who am I competing against? Myself. And just by doing these YouTube videos, considering that I was a socially awkward, completely silent, incapable of communicating my thoughts person in the past, I've already won. I've already won the game of self-improvement. And so I'm already far ahead of the game. So why would I need to compete with anyone else? Why would I need to do that? There's no need. There is no need to compete with anyone else outside of you. Because the only one truly that you're competing with, perhaps, if that's the word you want to use, is with yourself. It's a you against you game, not a you against them game, which is always a losing battle, I find. I just don't like those you against them game, because it makes me feel terrible about myself. It makes me feel terrible about the relationships I have, and there's always a lot of hatred or jealousy or negative emotions associated with it, which I don't want in my life, right? So I wanted to share this aspect of my philosophy and the way I look at the world, because maybe I thought you might find it interesting, but also maybe you share it or maybe you don't share it. Either way, I thought I'd share it because it's fun. And if you have questions about this, obviously let me know, comment below. And if it's a very complex question, I'll do a further video on it. If not, I'll answer it directly. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.